The invitation never came. My own sister's wedding, and I wasn't welcome. They all thought I'd create a scene, beg for inclusion instead. I disappeared completely 3 years later. When they desperately needed me, they discovered how thoroughly ice can burn, and how deafening silence can be. The notification popped up at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. A friend from high school had tagged my sister in. Wedding photos, my sister wedding photos. I blinked at my phone screen, certain I was misreading something in my half-asleep state, but as I scrolled through image after image, the white dress, the flower arrangements I'd never seen. Our parents beaming informal where I didn't recognize. Reality crashed down on me. My sister had gotten married and I hadn't even known. Have you ever felt your entire world tilt sideways? Like the ground beneath you suddenly isn't solid anymore. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you thought would always have your back, hit that subscribe button now. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do. It's what you don't do. I called my mom first. Fingers trembling so badly I could barely dial. When she answered, with that guilty hesitation in her voice, I knew this wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an oversight. They had all deliberately excluded me from one of the most significant family events of our lives. We just thought it would be better this way, she said, like she was telling me they'd chosen chocolate cake instead of vanilla. You know how you and your sister can get. We wanted a drama-free day. Drama-free, as if my mere presence guaranteed chaos. As if I was a hurricane in human form. That would have swept through and destroyed my sister's perfect day. I hung up and called my dad, then my cousin Emma, then anyone else who might tell me this was all some elaborate, cruel joke, but the story was always the same. They'd all been there, they'd all known. They'd all kept it from me. I found out later through mutual friends that my exclusion had been discussed extensively. My sister had told everyone I wouldn't have fit the aesthetic of her wedding. My mother had nodded along. My father had stayed silent, which was his way of agreeing the venue was too small. The guest list was limited. They didn't want to deal with me on such an important day that night. I cried until my eyes swelled shut and my throat felt raw. I screamed into pillows and sent desperate, pleading texts asking why. But somewhere between the sobbing and the sunrise, something inside me hardened. A quiet voice whispered no more. No more begging for a place at their table. No more being the family emotional support when convenient, family embarrassment when not. That morning, I made a decision that would change everything. I would disappear not with a bang, but with silence, not with fire. But with ice. The art of disappearing takes precision. I didn't storm off with dramatic proclamations or social media rants about toxic family dynamics. Instead, I slipped away like morning fog. There one moment, gone the next. I changed my phone number first. Then I deleted all my social media accounts. I found a new apartment across town and told only my closest friends where I'd gone. When my lease ended 2 months later, I packed up and moved 3 states away. The freedom was dizzying for the first time. I wasn't arranging my life around holiday obligations or forced family gatherings where I'd leave feeling smaller than when I arrived. I wasn't bracing for my mother's backhanded compliments or my sister's competitive jabs. The silence I'd chosen wrapped around me like a protective blanket. The first test came on my birthday. 3 months after the wedding, a text from my sister appeared on my old phone, which I kept only to track who was trying to reach me. Happy birthday, hope you're doing well. Love you, as if nothing had happened. As if she hadn't excluded me from her wedding, and then lied to everyone about why. The old me would have responded immediately, grateful for any crumb of attention. The new me set the phone down and walked away. My mother's voicemail started the next day, escalating from casual concern to frantic demands. You're being childish, she said in message number 3. By message 7, she was crying. You're tearing this family apart. The irony wasn't lost on me. Apparently my absence was destructive. But my exclusion had been necessary. I built a life they knew nothing about. I found a job at a marketing firm where people appreciated my ideas. I made friends who didn't have 20 years of history, judging me by my teenage mistakes. I started dating someone who looked at me like I was a gift, not a burden every night. I'd sit on my new balcony and feel the heaviness that had always lived in my chest. Growing lighter, I went to therapy and learned that what I'd been raised to see as my difficult personality was actually just healthy boundary setting in a family that preferred compliance. Through mutual friends, I heard snippets of the chaos my silence had created. My parents telling confused relatives I was going through a phase. My sister complaining that I was making everything about me. By not being around at all, the irony was delicious, but I savored it. Privately, I discovered something powerful. You don't need to fight back when walking away hits harder. 18 months of silence passed before they found me.